Welcome to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Here's your host, Casey Bubba and Scott Bogman.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Pre-Snap Podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar NFL. And more importantly, download the app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Everything you need in the palm of your hands to build your winning DFS lineups. And these days, with all the news and fun stuff and things, you'll need it more than ever. Check out my partner in crime here on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at BDentric, Scott Bogman. How we doing, friend?
You know, everyone thinks Bubba's just a nice guy and, pleasant to be around, great coworker, all that stuff. You know, if you guys know who I am and the teams that I follow, it was a rough weekend for me, specifically because I went to Austin to watch the Longhorns lose. And then I saw my Steelers tie the Lions, the winless Lions, who literally everyone that they had played had beat and couldn't beat them. Not even in overtime. So, at least my friend Bubba wasn't there to give me crap. He had a great week. I mean, Dolphins win on Thursday night. It was a solid week for Bubba, but it was a rough one for me. So,
hey, like I said, I could have. I waited to text you till Sunday morning, so you had a long drive home. Didn't want to bother you. Mm-hmm. I could have tagged you in tweets. I erased those before I hit send. Like, I'm a thoughtful person, very thoughtful. Okay. I bet you the Welsh wasn't as thoughtful.
He knows. Leave me alone. So it's the same. He's known me too long. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna leave him alone. So a lot of text during the game. I'll say that. So,
I didn't even want to bother. I was doing stuff, kept seeing kind of the scores. I'm like, oh no,
yeah. And it was the first drive too for Kansas. They got the ball and then went down the field immediately and scored. I'm like, all right, that's a scripted drive, right? They scored more points than they had the whole season in the first half. And I can't do it. Anyway, let's talk about the NFL. How about that?
Let's talk about some of the highlights of the game. And we are going to kind of mix the format up starting next week. It'll kind of, you'll understand when we get there, but we had a listener reach out and we will definitely try to do that, but it kind of coincides with the next DFS preview. So we'll have that going for you guys as well. But for now, we'll give you a quick recap of the Week 10 action. And then similar to Week 9, Boggs, it was a wild one. Some teams got back on track, though. We saw the Bills do their thing against the Jets. We saw the Cowboys do their thing against the Falcons, which was good to see. The Patriots continue to look like juggernauts now. So those seem to be like, and the Chiefs. How about them Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about that, and I said, hey, look, it's been a month, right? And Kansas City hasn't found it, so prove it to me. And they did. So, we're back on. We're back on with the Chiefs offense clicking on all cylinders here and ready for them to disappoint everyone next week after this huge performance. Now they play the Cowboys this week. So, it looks like this should be a 50-40 matchup, something like that. And it'll end up, 17-3 or something like the Packers and Seahawks did. So,
yeah, that Packers Seahawks game, it was, both quarterbacks didn't look the best. Rodgers, honestly, this isn't even me being like a homer, didn't look horrible. He had some hiccups. Wilson definitely
knocking the rust off, both of them.
Wilson definitely was rusty. And the weather was tough. It was a cold Lambeau game, snowing from time to time. It was interesting. They lost Aaron Jones. Thank goodness it's just a sprained MCL, so it's not as bad as they thought. So that'll be something important. But we saw more upsets again this week. What's your thoughts on this Washington football team, 29-19? Sure, they lost the big dog at defensive end, which is never a good thing, but a big win. Taylor Heineke, almost 2-0 now versus Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on in this game at all. So we're waiting for the Washington defense to bow up and play well like everyone expected them to this offseason. And it happens after Chase Young tears up his knee and Montez Sweat is out with a fractured jaw. It's not adding up a lot. But look, Tampa Bay looked bad. We saw Brady had the early interceptions, which is just a rarity. I know he's worse on the road, right? But Washington's been bad all year. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL against the pass. The Dolphins. No, the Dolphins played the worst team against the pass in the Ravens. The Ravens are the worst, but Washington's been terrible as well. So I figured, okay, you put the GOAT against one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL there, we're going to see him make it rain. And he made it rain interceptions in the first half. Washington got up to a lead. Antonio Gibson looks healthy, which I didn't expect. And, they made it work. And I believe the time of possession was whacked out in this game. Did you see what it was, Bub? I have it pulled up. You want to take a crack at all?
I guess time of possession, give me Washington at 42 minutes.
40 minutes, 39:08 to 20:52. So like for 2/3 of the game, Washington's in there just wearing out that defense. And then, when you're the offense and you hold the ball so little, you start pressing and you start making mistakes. And that's what happened in Tampa Bay. And that's why they only put up 19 points on one of the worst NFL defenses we've seen this season. And that's how the cookie crumbles on that one.
Yeah, no, that was pretty impressive to say the least. A couple other ones here. We saw the Titans hang on, which is good to see. But Minnesota went into the Chargers 27-20. Now that makes Kirk Cousins on the road so far this season, 21 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, look, we got good Kirk. We got good Kirk Cousins this week. And it just continues to be an issue with the Chargers on defense. And Justin Herbert has looked not great like for the past month. I know he had a good week last week, the 356-2 against Philly, but they won that game by 3 points because the defense was rough. Against New England, he had 233 and 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Against Baltimore, he only threw for 195, had a touchdown and a pick. So, I think Herbert, we're seeing him hit the wall a little bit here. And most guys do it their rookie year, especially in a weird COVID year. But it seems like he might be hitting a little bit of a wall. But luckily for him, he faces the Steelers this week without TJ Watt, most likely. So, and the same crappy offense that's been there all year. So, I don't know. It looks like a pretty dud of a Sunday night football game, but it might be at least a close one.
Hey, the Monday night football game between the Steelers and the Bears wasn't so bad. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. He's back, folks. Apparently, at least he said so. Cam Newton, 2 touchdowns on like 3 plays. Panthers win 34-10 in Arizona. I know it was no Kyler, no DeAndre, but still complete domination, which was surprising to me. CMC looked really good, got banged up again. It is a weird game, but in the end, the Panthers got the job done. And we talked about it last week. Like, was this move worth it? So far, it was.
I mean, he barely played. So, but I do think what he brought was hope. And I think starting Sam Darnold or PJ Walker every single week was just getting to be, I mean, we saw Robbie Anderson screaming at Sam Darnold. And, I don't want to use Robbie Anderson as a positive example ever, but if that's the tone of one guy, it's probably hiding behind the scenes as well. And you see with Cam back there, there's smiles everywhere, and he's going to start this week. Cardinals obviously didn't have Kyler. They didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, but we saw them go into San Francisco and beat the crap out of the Niners last week. So I thought maybe we get some of that. No, Colt got hurt. Everything unraveled. It was all downhill from there. So this is kind of one of those trappy games. Not really. There's no such thing as a trap game in the NFL because if you don't come to play, you'll get beat by whoever. There's no Alabama playing, a team that they don't get up for, but they can still beat them by 50. There's none of that in the NFL. So this game just was, it was a surprising outcome, but I'd love to see, hey, I got my Run CMC shirt back on. I know he got a little nicked up, but he went back out there. He's fine. Yeah. So love to see him getting going, and I'm excited to see what Cam's got left in the tank here.
Yeah, CMC proved he's a cheat code yet again because he's not even finding the end zone, but just running the ball, the catches. The dude's just a PPR god. So it's ridiculous on what he can do out there, and I hope he stays healthy because it'll be great to just roster him every single week. The Niners Monday Night Football beat down the Rams. The Rams receivers did not help Stafford at all in this game. So many bad drops. Any other takeaways from the week? Like it was, I didn't want to bring up that tie game, but overall, the one thing I will say,
Mason Rudolph still sucks.
Yeah, well, we knew that going into it.
Yeah,
but the one thing I will say is a lot of these stuff when we build our lineups, when we plan for our lineups. You mentioned, CMC gets banged up. You mentioned Colt McCoy goes down. Cordarrelle Patterson goes down. Once the game starts, there's so many things that are out of our control. And as wacky as the NFL is now, it is what it is at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just, that comes with the territory, right? The injuries and the weirdness. It feels like for a month straight we keep coming back and going, God, what a weird week. But, you know, the Panthers looked god awful last week, and then they beat the Cardinals on the road for their second win with PJ Walker playing most of the time. That's just not something you expect. You don't expect Brady to go to Washington, who's been miserable
Off
this
a
year,
bye
and
week.
lose. Your team, the Dolphins, stomped the Ravens.
Yeah.
Remember last Sunday night, they were the Sunday night crew was going over who are the good teams in the AFC, right? And they were like, Baltimore is pretty good, because Buffalo had just lost to Jacksonville and all that stuff. And so you don't know who's gonna, like, when the Rams look bad and the Bills look bad, you expect both those teams to bounce back, and only one does. Maybe this is a skid that the Rams are hitting here a little bit. So Kansas City hasn't shown this type of offense really all year, and they go crazy. We expect the Seahawks to be better with Russell. He clearly came back a week too early,
Yep.
and what happened to all the Chris Carson stuff? He didn't play either. So
Yeah, exactly. They didn't even suit up.
Denver goes into Dallas and beats Dallas, and then loses at home to Philly. Like,
loses bad.
It's a giant pendulum swing going on this year. And Mike White, by the way, I said his name right. It's Mike White. It ain't Magic Mike.
All I know is I don't have to buy a jersey, so we're good.
Yeah, there you go. You are really good on that. So,
Yeah, no Jets paraphernalia in this house. Not up in here. But all right, that'll take us through the Week 10 action. Again, if you want more stuff, check out the other shows that we all do and all the fun stuff and things. But let's talk about the perfect lineup for DraftKings this past week. Not the one that won it all, but would have been the perfect lineup and how people came to this conclusion. Dak Prescott at quarterback, Ramondre Stevenson at running back, Jonathan Taylor at running back, CeeDee Lamb, Kendrick Bourne, Stephon Diggs, Tyler Conklin, A.J. Dillon, and the Dallas Cowboys defense. Couple things, Boggs. The Cowboys were very popular. Like in cash games, Dak Prescott was well over 50%.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb moved back into the slot with Michael Gallup coming out. That was big. Right off the bat.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb looked great. I know a couple of people are worried about Cooper with Gallup there. I'm not really worried about Cooper. He has some big boom weeks. So, the problem is with three guys that good, plus Schultz, plus Zeke, is on a week-to-week basis, it's harder to pin down who the guy is going to be. But I think every week I'm good with CeeDee, Amari Cooper, and Zeke.
Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson got the start with Damian Harris coming out. Like when we recorded, Damian Harris was still questionable. Actually, more towards probable at that point in time. He did not play. So Ramondre Stevenson got the bulk of the workload. He beasted out. But on the same team, Kendrick Bourne puts up 24 DK points at $4,600. The Patriots were just clicking on all cylinders. And
dude,
even if we thought the Patriots were going to win, which we didn't, I don't think we expected 45 points.
No, absolutely not. Like, this was a total tank job by the Browns here. I don't know what happened. Like, I thought they looked so hurt and so banged up against Pittsburgh that it was going to take a little bit for them to get right. And then they go and beat the crap out of the Bengals, who everyone was like, the Bengals are putting the AFC on notice, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then they go into just lay an egg against the Patriots. Lay an egg so bad. And I know Nick Chubb didn't play here, so that's understandable. Big chunk of their offense is missing, but Dearness Johnson won them that Thursday night game.
Yeah, he played great this past week.
And he was fantastic, right?
Yep.
Baker got hurt again. And Myles Garrett was even complaining about the coaching. So that, stir the pot. I like to stir the pot there. So, but of course, the Browns lose, the Ravens lose, and the Steelers can't make up a game on them because they tie the stupid Lions. So, but Kendrick Bourne was great, and Mac Jones.
Looking good, man. Looking good.
I had said on ITL too a couple weeks ago, like, let's stop trying to make him happen. He's got 1 20-point game this year, and he's probably going to hit the rookie wall at some point. So this is not a guy I'm going to be investing in. And he shoved me up. He went out there and threw 3 touchdowns, and his completion percentage is incredible. He's definitely rookie of the year, unless Jamar Chase goes absolutely ham in the second half. So, and Jamar Chase has a tough schedule in the second half. So, I like him, and we'll be talking about him on Showdown for sure this week.
Most definitely. And the thing with Mac is, he's not flashy, and there's a lot of games where he just manages it because that's the way the Patriots work, and they won the football game.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be a consistent fantasy gold mine right now because he's still so young, but the talent is undeniable. It's impressive what he can do out there. So, yeah, pretty good stuff there. Jonathan Taylor was the second running back. He was amazing. $8,100, paid that off easily. And they kind of went away from him in the second half, which was weird, especially with the Jags getting back into it. But early on, and even for the whole game, if you look at the total workload, 87% of the running back snaps, like almost all the workload for the running backs. It was the most he's had in a game in his career. And the dude is just getting better every week, Bogman.
I mean, finally, the Colts are kind of just giving everything to him that he can handle, which is what we wanted. That's what he did at Wisconsin. That's what made him valuable, right? Is you let him pound them the first 3 quarters, and then they don't want to tackle him anymore in the fourth. It works a lot like how Derrick Henry works. So obviously different types of backs. Taylor is faster, Henry is bigger, but that's the same result, right? Different players, same result. That's what you're trying to get out of JT. And it's got a tough matchup against the Bills this week, but I bet we still see him rostered in a bunch of spots.
Oh, no doubt about it. Stephon Diggs, speaking of those Bills, he was the third receiver here, put up 33 DK points. Finally had that big game with Allen, and I just have a weird feeling, Bogman, we're going to see a lot more of that to come the rest of the season.
I mean, I don't think it's wrong to force feed Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
100%.
Because their offense is so lost against the Jags. You had to be like, okay, just feed him, please.
They can get a little lost in that. Like, you still have to run the ball, but they did that well here as well. I mean, all 3 backs got involved, which for fantasy is annoying, but it made the offense hum for Buffalo. So wouldn't be surprised if we see that going forward as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tight end position, Tyler Conklin, 16 DK points. He basically early on had 2 catches for 6 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was the Jerome Bettis of tight ends at one point in time. And, Dan Arnold, who we loved, he finished with 13 DK points. He did just fine. Conklin just got the touchdown advantage. We talk about it time and time again going into last week. Massive workload for that Minnesota team, and he'll be in play because he's still super affordable.
Yeah, and especially when he's in the red zone. Justin Jefferson taking the top off the defense. They want to make sure he doesn't get the ball, and then you probably got to put an extra guy on Dalvin. So you're going to have a Tyler Conklin mismatch. He's gigantic. He's like 6'7". So love him in the red zone. He's an absolute threat every week.
And then the flex play was A.J. Dillon, and the large part of that was because he played pretty much the entire second half with Aaron Jones going down. So some people might have played Dillon like on a flyer, but for the most part, it would not have been in play. And he's going to be, the next 2 weeks, could be very, very popular.
We just talked about Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, and A.J. Dillon's that same type of back. If you watched him in college, he played at BC, and he was their offense. He was their entire offense. He get 40 carries a game, 40 touches a game.
He reminds me so much like Ron Dane.
Yeah, Ron. Yeah, well, Ron Dane with speed, right? So, he's just one of those bruisers that if you give him the ball 30 times, they ain't gonna want to tackle him in the fourth quarter. And we're gonna see that. We're gonna see a lot of that because Aaron Jones is gonna miss at least a couple of weeks. It looks like.
And then last but not least, the Cowboys defense, which obviously when you shut down the Falcons the way they did, going to put up a lot of points. And that Falcons game, that was so disappointing because back-to-back weeks now, a Cowboys game involved blowouts where guys were rested in the second half.
Yeah.
And you can't predict that. Like, it was the perfect game script for garbage time Falcons production. And in previous years, garbage time was everywhere.
Right.
For some reason, we're resting guys now. So,
well,
longer season maybe. I don't know, but
I think they just couldn't keep Matt Ryan upright, right? He took a ton of hits
true.
in this game, and you don't want to have to start Josh Rosen, right? So
no one wanted to so far, yeah.
So you gotta protect your guys, and also like you lose Ridley 1 week, you lose Cordell Patterson the following week. It's just tough breaks for Atlanta all the way around, and we know their defense is soft, so. The defense isn't going to keep you in the game. The offense has to. And when they're just laying you out every single time because it becomes predictable, I think we got some wholesale changes coming for them too. I think Gallman's going to be the lead back next week. And, Russell Gage didn't get a catch. No catches in this game. So I don't know what the hell they're going to do at wideout, but it looks bad in Atlanta right now.
Yep, looks very, very bad. But if you guys want to check out more stats from the perfect lineups and previous week's perfect lineups, Make sure you check out the LineStar page. It tells you what stacks have paid off more often than not. The average salaries. The Dak this past week was $6,900 so far on the season on slates that are 7 to 11 games. This last week was 11 games. The average quarterback salary, $6,485. So it falls right in range there. Kind of gives you an idea on what ranges to go to. Now, is it bulletproof? No, but it gives you an idea of what's going on. So go check out LineStar Sports and get all the good stuff there as usual. But Bogman, let's look forward to Week 11. You mentioned Thursday Night Football. You got Patriots Falcons. Likely no Cordero Patterson as of Monday's news. We'll see how things develop, but it does not look good. I would imagine Damian Harris with the concussion may miss another week. We'll see.
He didn't practice today. So
there you go. So he's probably going to miss. You got another Ramondre Stevenson week. We got Mac Jones. You might get Josh Rosen by the end of that game because it's the Patriots defenses look filthy. Interesting game.
It's going to be hard for us to pick any Falcons in the showdown, right? Like, hopefully Zacchaeus is cheap or something. I doubt it, but I this is going to be a bad game to watch, man. I'm not looking forward to streaming it. Luckily we'll have some college football on too, but I think Stevenson's going to be an enormous play in this game again, and I think he should be, right? And we saw Jacoby Myers finally get in the end zone.
Finally, first time.
Yeah, it just took Hoyer the Destroyer to throw it to him. So maybe we can get some Mac Jones to Jacoby Myers action. But Falcons need Kyle Pitts to step up in a huge way.
Huge way. And something tells me the ball coach might plan to take him out.
You would think so, but is he their strongest weapon? My idea might just be to lay the wood to Matt Ryan. Just make him feel it.
Blitz. Beat me.
Worked against Lamar Jackson, so I know different players, but Matt Ryan's a statue out there. So
all right, we'll see how that one plays out here. Go on to the Sunday action. Saints Eagles. Jalen Hurts threw the ball well. Devontae Smith back-to-back weeks where he looks like a top pick all of a sudden. Going against the Saints here, it could be some fun in this one.
I'm really looking forward to, like you said, Jalen Hurts looks good recently. The Eagles are favored by a point in this game. It's a little surprising to me. But Adam Troutman, the last couple weeks in a row, 4 was his career high in catches last week, 5 this week. He's on the field all the time. Simeon seems to love throwing it to him. So I'm kind of excited about him. And I'm not excited about anything in the Eagles backfield, because
it doesn't exist.
A mess right now. But Devontae Smith has been great the last 2 weeks too. The Slim Reaper putting in some work. So I'm excited about him as well.
No doubt about that. Dolphins Jets 3-7 versus 2-7 should be 4-7 versus 2-8. But my luck is it'll be not the case. But that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Hopefully a full game of Tua by now. So we'll see how that goes.
Washington. How about the Dolphins defense, Bub?
Well, they should feast on him, but I say these things and it's setting me up for so much.
You're gun shy. Everyone's gun shy this year. It's understandable. Look, the Dolphins have been doing a little couple different things on defense, and I think they finally found their backfield in Jones and Holland. And Holland had an enormous game on Thursday night.
Yes,
they get extra rest here. Mike White looked absolutely not magical. So I don't even know if he's going to start this game. If Zach Wilson can start, I think he'll come back too. So we'll see. But yeah, there's stuff to look forward to in that game, even though you don't want to watch it. I understand. I don't want to watch it.
Washington at Carolina, you got the big win by Heineke and company, but Cam Newton, they already said is going to take majority, if not all, of the first team reps this week. So I imagine Cam will be under center. So back in Carolina too. This should be an entertaining one.
Dude, this is all about Cam Newton. I think he's going to have a big game here. And look, he's got to get DJ Moore back involved here, right? Yep. Christian McCaffrey's been good. Robbie Anderson scored the touchdown, everything. We want DJ Moore back involved in this offense. And for Washington's side, Carolina's a good defense too, but they just ripped apart Tampa Bay off a week of rest. Tampa Bay had a bye week, as did Washington. That's why they played each other this week. But I don't know, man. This seems like the week to go in and pound Washington, right? But the defense looked much better. So I'm going to throw out Washington last week and say the Panthers beat the crap out of them.
Prove it again, please. That's all I have to say is prove it again.
Yeah.
Now we're on the road. Let's see what happens. A letdown spot if anyone's had one in their life.
Yeah.
Colts at Bills. This one's gonna be good because the Bills, obviously, at least we could probably think is the better team. They should be the better team. Colts are playing great football right now. This is a very, very fun playoff type football game.
Oh yeah, I hate this one. I can tell you right now, I'm not laying a touchdown for Buffalo right now. I'll take the points with the Colts right now. Carson Wentz looked a little he was just off. I mean, they played Jacksonville, right? But he was a little off. But also interesting, T.Y. Hilton played all the snaps here, a lot of the snaps, not all of them, but like a ton of them. So I mean, he only had one catch for whatever 5 yards, but interesting to see him
still
back.
big.
So yeah, and JT obviously huge, and I mean Stephon Diggs just going to get peppered. Everybody knows that.
It should be a fun game, to say the least. Maybe a not so fun game. Lions Browns. Can the Lions make it 0-8-2? We'll see. But in Cleveland, can they bounce back after getting embarrassed?
I mean,
it's good. It's a bad game.
It's a slump buster for sure. I think Nick Chubb is going to be
game of the week.
Yeah, Nick Chubb's going to be back and rolling. I think. I don't know if Baker's going to play. I don't even know if it matters. Detroit plays hard, man, but they just tied Pittsburgh, who would have been beatable by any other team in the NFL, coming off a bye week. I don't know, man. I think the Browns roll in that one. They're 10-point favorites coming off that disgusting loss to the Patriots. So
yeah, they should take care of business. That's for sure. Niners and Jags. Niners coming off a big win, going in to face Urban Meyer.
Okay, so here's my question about Jacksonville. Do we need to start respecting the defense a little bit?
No.
I mean, they held the Colts. Carson Wentz didn't look his best against them.
Yeah,
and they held the Bills to 6 points.
The Colts were up, like 20-7, and it felt like the second half they kind of, I don't know if they were, I don't know, it just felt like
off
a weird,
the gas a little
like
bit,
lackadaisical kind of. I feel like that because they got out to such a lead. So like I think Taylor was like 10 for 90 out the gate. Like they were just doing whatever they wanted to start the game.
I mean, Debo just continues to be a stud. Debo would be their best running back. Like, did you see him taking snaps at RB?
Yeah, they tried to tonight. Yeah, I saw that a few times.
Eli Mitchell's good too. Like, Kittle looks healthy now.
Yeah. Niners are looking, and that Niners defense with Bosa and the pass rush. Pray for Trevor.
All it took was, pray for Trevor for sure. All it took was an embarrassing loss to the Cardinals with their backup quarterback and without their best player in Hopkins, to fire them up, but they got fired up. So might just be that the Rams are bad right now, but I think the Niners are good too. So
I think the Niners are getting healthy and getting better. That's the bottom line. And I think Trevor should go to the chop house before this game. Might help him out a little bit. Texans at the Titans, an old AFC South battle. The game used to mean a lot. Now it should be a 9-2 Titans team.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot here, I don't think.
I'm a little interested in Deontay Foreman. I'll say that. I mean, the Texans are coming off a bye, and we see teams. We just saw Washington.
And Tyrod getting healthier. That's not bad.
Off a bye. Yeah, Tyrod. I do think that the Titans are maybe overrated at 8-2, just a little overrated. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying a little overrated. That's all. But hey, look, you beat who's in front of you, dude.
Either. It's fine.
12 touchdowns to 8 picks for Tannehill. That's not very elite. You don't have your best player. AJ Brown was held to 1 catch this week, and they still gutted out a win against the Saints. All it took was the Saints starting quarterback and running back to be down, but they still won. So I'm just saying that maybe the Titans are getting a couple lucky breaks here. That's all. They're still they're 8-2. So you beat who's in front of you. You know, it's like everyone last year said the Steelers are the worst 11-0 team the league has ever seen. That probably was true, but you beat the teams that are put in front of you. So
if we can say anything about this season is literally as any given Sunday. So beat the team in front of you. Like we've seen so many upsets, just beat the team in front of you. It's that simple.
Right.
Let's stop placating this.
Brandon Cooks, and I'm interested to see my guy Deontay Foreman. Are they really going to give him the run, or are they going to keep trying to force feed Peterson because he looks old and slow? I think maybe Peterson, Foreman and McNichols would work right now. So
I think it's a much better move. That's for darn sure. Much better move. Packers at the Vikings, NFC North battle. This is actually a fun one. These teams always play tough. They usually play to some points in the dome there. The Skull Channel will be rocking, but Rodgers don't care. So I think this could be a fun one.
I mean, who do you like more in this game? Do you like Dalvin Cook because he's the better back playing against that Packers defense that has been playing really well recently? Or do you like A.J. Dillon going up against a softer Vikings defense here?
Give me A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, I mean, It's close to me. So Packers 2.5-point road favorites. I think I would lay the points there and take the Pack with the way their defense is playing. Not more because of Aaron Rodgers or Jones getting hurt than anybody.
Legit, man.
But the defense is playing really good right now. So I'm with you.
Ravens at the Bears. Ravens trying to come back from an embarrassing Thursday night football game. Justin Fields off the bye, previously playing probably his best game ever. This actually, to me, is a very exciting football game.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see Fields coming off the bye week. Like you said, playing his best game. He really needs to put it together. The Ravens are dead last in the NFL against the pass. So, I mean, the Raiders might be after Sunday night,
True.
but the Ravens have been rough against the pass this year. You saw Tua and Brissett put it on him a little bit. So I'm excited to see what Fields has. And you saw him start throwing the ball deep against Pittsburgh. I think that's going to be the move against the Ravens. So as long as you don't get behind and let the Ravens pin their ears back, they're going to stay in this game. So I'm excited to see this one. And I want to see Lamar bounce back, and I think he can. So it's going to be an interesting game for sure.
Let's go to the Sunday afternoon games. There's only 3 Sunday afternoon games because the NFL does horrible scheduling things. But Bengals at the Raiders should be a fun one because the way the Chiefs threw all over the Raiders, the Bengals could bounce back would be so nice to see that passing attack against this offense. We shall see. Maybe the Raiders bounce back, but I don't know. We'll see how this one plays out.
Yeah, it's a bounce back game for somebody. Who's it going to be, right? I think if you're the Raiders, just give the ball to Jacobs more, right? Use a little more play action, do that kind of stuff. With the Bengals, the line has to play better. And it's not good to go up against this Raiders defensive line. Max Crosby can get after it. So that line has to play better. Burrow will play better. But I do think the Bengals win this one on the road.
It was good seeing Bryan Edwards get much more involved this past week. So,
God, please, let's
something to keep an eye on at least. Cardinals head into Seattle. Cardinals off that tough loss. I would imagine Kyler comes back.
They said it's going to be close, which I don't like to hear.
I know they want him healthy. They can still afford another loss or two potentially to make the playoffs. Definitely won't get a bye, but you need him healthy. So I guess that's what it takes. But going into Seattle, another week for Russell. This is a big game for the Cardinals to bounce back, I think.
Do you love all of the Jamal Adams has now joined Vince Wilfork with 3 career interceptions?
That was a good meme you sent me. That was a good meme.
Oh my God.
Especially because it's Wilfork with half his shirt out or his belly out of his shirt. So that was
good. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, man, look, I think unless Strevler is playing, or whatever his stupid name is playing this game, I think even Colt McCoy can go in and beat Seattle. So the defense is rough there. DK Metcalf, I think he should.
Diva.
Come on, man. Like, what are you doing? And then try to get back in the game. So weird. Yep. I think Seattle could get right. You don't want to doubt Russell Wilson.
Maybe they get Carson back. Maybe.
Game. I don't think they do. I think he's done for the year. So
we'll see. Neck's a serious deal, boys.
Yeah, neck is a serious deal. So I don't know what's going on there, but this is going to be a good game, and it's a division game. So you kind of. It's
throw the records out the window.
We just saw it on Monday night.
Yes,
that's exactly what happened in this division. So it's one of those throw the records out the window. But yeah, I mean, if Kyler plays, heavy Cardinals here. So
game of the week, at least it better live up to the hype because this could be another just massive back and forth game. Cowboys, Chiefs. Cowboys out the big win against the Falcons. The Chiefs bouncing back in Vegas. Now they'll be in Arrowhead. It gets dark early, so the second half should be under the lights. This has the makings of fireworks, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice maybe if there's some weather here too, but I don't know, man. I know the Chiefs just put it on, but show it to me twice. I think Dallas is a good team. So
Dallas is a very good team. That's why it should be interesting.
Chiefs are only 2-point favorites at home, which is a rarity for them. So that's, like you said, it's going to be game of the week. But yeah, I mean, we want points and points and points. And the line I'm seeing right now is 55.5. So that would be the most this week, I think, by maybe 5.5 points. So
that's lots of points.
Yeah, it's lots of points, man. Yeah, it's the Cardinals and Seahawks are 50, and that's the next highest.
Most definitely. Sunday night football.
Ugh.
Your Pittsburgh Steelers at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are reeling. They went on the bye week and then 2 tough losses. Steelers off a great tie. Did Ben get vaccinated? Is he or is it automatic 10 games?
No. He can play here. So,
okay. I didn't hear any news. I didn't know it was an automatic.
We got COVID
10
on Saturday. I was at the Texas game watching the Longhorns lose to Kansas when it popped up on my phone. Ben Roethlisberger has COVID.
But I'm saying, so he's vaccinated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So always 2 negative tests. So
okay, so he'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, he self-reported his COVID symptoms too,
Yeah.
and then went to the stadium
that was fun.
All that stuff. So, I mean, better than getting a massive fine for playing, you know.
Yeah, that could have been bad.
But I don't know.
At least he self-reported something in his life.
I don't know what to expect here, because both these teams are headed in the same direction. So I guess I take the home team.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one, but it's going to be interesting to see how that one.
No TJ Watt. The Steelers lost an offensive lineman, which I know it can't get much worse, but it can get worse. Minka Fitzpatrick has COVID now, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's big.
I don't know his stuff if he has been vaccinated or not. So there's a lot going on. No TJ Watt. Doesn't look good for Pittsburgh.
Monday Night Football. Pray for the Giants. Giants at the Tampa Bay Bucks. I don't see the Bucks doing a letdown 2 weeks in a row, especially on primetime Monday night. Like, I like Danny Dimes and all, but he's the sacrificial lamb this week, Bogman.
Giants coming off a bye and they get Saquon back.
I don't care.
There's a lot of points to lay.
This will be a fun discussion, it sounds like, then for later this week with us.
I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm just saying, Giants coming off a bye, you get Saquon back. Maybe there's a little something there. That's all. I mean, teams coming off a bye play better, man. We just saw Jacksonville beat Buffalo.
Yeah, Tampa Bay just came off a bye too.
Last week. No, they lost to Washington. So
yeah, but I mean, they came off a bye. Yeah,
so did Washington. Washington was off the bye.
I'm saying that means the Bucks didn't play better. You said teams are playing better. They played like crap.
Washington played better though. Maybe the crappy teams played better. Jacksonville did too. Actually, no, that wasn't even off the bye. They came in off the bye and got the crap kicked out of them by Seattle. And then beat Buffalo. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Tomato coin. Yes, that is the NFL. Flip a freaking coin.
Jesus.
That's what it's all about. But that's your quick look. As you can tell, it's going to be another fired up week of football on the LineStar podcast, the pre-snap podcast. So you guys should make sure you check all that good stuff out. If you want to watch us fight and all that other fun stuff, go check out the LineStar YouTube channel. Give it all a subscribe and thumbs up there. Otherwise, you get stuck listening to us 3 days a week, 4 days now, actually, 4 times a week. I mean, 4 times the Tuesday drop of this show. Then we'll be back with you guys with the picks and bets on Thursday, as well as your showdown preview this week with the Pats and the Falcons. That should be a fun one for you. And then on Friday, your usual DFS main slate preview. So for now, check out LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar NFL, Bogman at Bogman Sports, and I am at BD Entrick. You guys have a great day, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Please like, comment, subscribe, and rate for good karma in your fantasy football games.